Today we're covering 3 easy, non-technical submissions that work that I would show my white belt self. I will say that if you're a white belt, your focus shouldn't be hitting submissions. It's more of a defensive journey at white belt, but submissions are the cherry on top in Jiu-Jitsu. So if I can give you submissions that help you have more fun, build confidence, and also just develop a deeper understanding of the position that's required to hit these submissions, you're learning all over the place, and that's a massive win. So without further ado, let's jump in. I think one of the biggest issues I had as a white belt was learning submissions that were really technical, right? It doesn't seem like it should be, but trying to learn an armbar from guard is really hard for most white belts to do. Trying to learn a triangle is very difficult for white belts to do. A lot of these submissions are technical, very technical. A lot of jiu-jitsu is, but the things we're gonna cover today aren't. My jiu-jitsu style is very much a knuckle dragger, bulldog kind of wrestler jiu-jitsu. I really like a lot of my jiu-jitsu just to be easy, not highly technical, basic but effective. So as you'll see here, that's exactly what we're covering today. First one on the list is something we've covered in the past, and it is the soul taker. So as you check the example here, you can see that I'm in side control on my partner. Now I'm always looking for back exposure, and sometimes your opponent will give it to you by trying to roll away into turtle, and sometimes you need to encourage them. So what I like to do, as you can see here, is I'll place a forearm into their neck, jaw area, and I'll apply a lot of pressure. Sometimes just the act of turning their face away is enough to get them to roll in that direction. All they really need to do is lift that near side shoulder so that you can scoop a seatbelt grip. As soon as I get that seatbelt grip, I'm looking for twisting arm control. So I'm grabbing the wrist of his top arm with my bottom hand. And in doing so, essentially twisting his arm across his own neck. Now from here, I want to move to the gift wrap. And if you can see, I'm taking my free hand and grabbing my own wrist. This is a very secure, snug, and safe position. It's not overly technical. Now that I have the gift wrap, I'm extending my north side leg out behind him and away from me, as you can see here. This allows me to prop my body up and drop my knee into his ribs. What you don't want to do is put your knee over his hip girdle because it's a strong bone and you can put all the pressure on him you want. It's not going to affect his breathing or create any pain for him, which are 2 things that we want from this soul taker submission. So as you can see the example, I am placing my knee just into where his floating ribs are at. I'm on his rib cage, but low on the rib cage. What I'm going to do now is, while I have my gift wrap obtained, I'm leaning his body up while dropping weight through my knee into his floating ribs. This creates a lot of pain, discomfort, and it makes it very difficult for your opponent to breathe. And as you can see, if they wince like this, yeah, you're doing it right. The great thing about this move is that it's not overly technical, and if for some reason you don't get the tap, this is a great place to pressure cook your opponent, right? This is a place where you can really gas them out because they'll try like crazy to get out of this. And a lot of times it's just a waste of energy because it's already such a secure position. So if you're new to jiu-jitsu and you're having a hard time with technical submissions, this is a good one to try. This next one I call the SCP, which is just side control punishment. So as you can see in the example, I'm in side control. What I'm going to do is, with my north side hand, I'm going to reach over and behind his head so that my hand can reach across his face and grab his jawline. Now, as I get this, check what I do with my legs. My north side leg goes wide and away from him while my bottom leg rotates underneath my top leg. This is happening because I'm rocking my ribs into his diaphragm, essentially. Now, at the same time, I'm also curling his chin towards his chest. So in one aspect of this, you are crushing his chest cavity into his diaphragm, which makes it difficult and painful to breathe. And at the same time, much like a guillotine, you're trapping your hand between his chin and his chest, which makes it very difficult to breathe. If for some reason you're not able to get the tap here, this is a great one to hold and let them cook here for a minute, right? They're gonna be trying to get out of this. It's gonna be difficult to breathe. Even if they can still breathe, you're zapping their energy. And it doesn't take hardly any effort to make this thing happen. So again, another non-technical submission that works. I use this one all the time. It's a little more catch wrestling than it is jiu-jitsu, but it works and it's easy to do. So if you're not doing this one yet and you're looking for less technical submissions to try, highly recommend it. Now this last one is a smother choke, and I wanted to show this because not only is it really easy, but it's gonna help you develop your understanding of the position of mount, which can be a difficult position for a lot of white belts to hold. There isn't a lot of reason for you to hold this because most white belts can't hit submissions from mount anyways. This submission will do just that. You're gonna hit it from mount. It'll help you build confidence in the mount position, and it's gonna show you how to hold on to mount a little bit better, because I guarantee you try to hit this on people, they're gonna be trying to roll you out of mount. So let's jump into it. Before we move to the example, I want you to understand that you are essentially covering this person's nose and mouth with the meat of your chest. You can either choose your sternum and crush their nose through their face, which is mean but effective, or you're taking your pec muscle, your pec meat, and covering their nose and mouth that way. A lot of people will give up on these way too soon because they can tell their opponent's breathing. You do not need a complete seal. It only needs to be just enough of a pain in the ass for them to want to give up. Where you see this work really well is when your opponent's tired. So as we check the example, you can see that I'm in mount. I'm going to get a scarf hold underneath my opponent's head. Now you can hit this submission with one scarf hold, but I like to do two. So as you can see, I'm placing both forearms underneath my opponent's head. And what I want you to remember is that you're placing them close to the base of his neck, just at the base of his shoulders even. A lot of times I'll see newbies try to hit this and they're putting their arms underneath the head, and that rocks the face forward, making it difficult to hit. You want to expose the face, not hide the face, if that makes sense. Now, once you're here, all you're simply doing is hugging their face into your pec. It's as simple as that. Now, ideally, I'd like to tuck my feet underneath my opponent's hamstrings, or if they're tall enough, even under their butt. And I like to take a wide base with my knees because they will try to bridge and roll out of this, helping you hold this position while you finish the submission. And it's truly that easy. It will take some trial and error to find the sweet spot, the part that works best for you and your anatomy. Physiology plays a big part in jiu-jitsu, and people that say it doesn't, I would disagree heavily. So you're gonna find out, depending on how you're built, whether you like to use your chest meat, your pec muscle, or the flat area of your sternum. It just kind of depends on what your style is once you start to develop that. But try both, see which one works better for you. And those are my 3 favorite non-technical submissions I teach my white belt self, if I could go back in time. If you guys have been training for a while, have others that you'd like to show your white belt self, drop them in the comments. We can all learn from each other. I always appreciate all of you that have knowledge to share, because we all learn, including myself. So with that, you know how we like to end them, sometimes backwards, always forwards. I'll see you in the next one.